Welcome to our 12th annual Hearts of Hope at Home. Obviously, we haven't brought you Hearts of Hope in a virtual format before. And one of the things that Donna and I were realizing as we've been pulling this event together is there's actually an extraordinary opportunity tonight. You see, every year when we do Hearts of Hope, we get together in a fancy ballroom and it's wonderful and we dress up and when we get together, we are telling you about the mission, and we're certainly trying to convince you that we think that the services we provide are critically important. But the opportunity tonight is that we can show you who the mission is and what we do. Throughout the event tonight, there's opportunities for people to make a financial gift.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about how that's going to work?
We've made it very easy for you. Just click the Give Now button that you see on your screen, or if you're text savvy, you can text the word HOPE AGAIN, one word, no spaces. Text HOPE AGAIN to 41444.
So Bridgeport Rescue Mission is a 24/7 facility. Besides our COVID response, we are caring for the community all year round. Donna, can you share sort of what we do 24/7
Sure.
to care for people?
So Bridgeport Rescue Mission has been in existence a little over 26 years, meeting the needs of the community. And we often describe what we do as meeting basic needs today in the here and now, providing hope for tomorrow, and transforming lives forever for the long-term years to come.
Yeah, and we are continuing to do that work amidst this crazy past month, and we've pivoted several times. Can you share just a little bit about what does that COVID response look like now?
Sure. So almost immediately we realized we needed to modify how we were providing food to the community. So instead of having meals served in our dining room, we are providing meals in to-go containers and distributing them from our front lawn. And most importantly, we're also continuing to provide our food pantry services, which are, as you know, critical because we provide at least 50 to 70 families per day with essential groceries. So we moved that operation outside, making sure that we're taking appropriate measures to keep in mind social distancing and keeping everybody safe. The community guests who we serve, our staffs, and our student residents who are helping in this capacity.
So we're going to show you, I took a visit last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, over to our pantry. So come on with me and we'll go over there and visit the pantry. This year we thought we would take you a little behind the scenes of what's been happening the past 8 weeks during the coronavirus shutdown. Bridgeport Rescue Mission's team has been up and running, distributing food to the community. We are a front lines emergency provider of assistance to struggling families. 60, 70 families are coming every day. Working families, especially single moms with children, depend on this pantry, these free groceries, to feed their families. And it's even more important at a time like this when they don't have the money or the resources to go out and buy those extra groceries like you and I might. Today, all the food is pre-packaged. That's to minimize exposure, and people can get bread, fresh produce, bags of pasta and peanut butter and rice. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to sustain it as the food donations are kind of light right now, but we seem to be making it every day.
Well, we've definitely made some changes to the way that we conduct the food pantry in light of this COVID crisis. We want to kind of distance ourselves from each other and make it as safe as possible, but we kind of saw that we needed to keep the pantry going despite the stuff going on. People really depend on this service, so it really is helping them make their lives easier in a time of uncertainty.
So you might have noticed in that video that the people behind me were not social distanced. That was actually our first week of operation, moving the pantry outside, and every single day we were changing and moving tables and tents. Today, that entire outside operation has taped lines on the grounds. Everybody is wearing masks and gloves and social distanced apart, and those changes were literally literally happening on the fly every 24 hours as we were adjusting the operation. It was kind of a crazy turn of events.
And some days it seemed like we made a decision in the morning and we were modifying that decision by the time the end of the day came along.
It was like, nope, wait, we're doing that wrong. We got to fix it and do it better. And then the same kind of thing happened with mobile. So our mobile ministry is a time when we put hot meals onto 2 mobile trucks and we drive them into communities. And you went a couple weeks ago when we were kind of in midstream.
Yes.
What was that?
Yes. So I visited the P.T. Barnum housing community location, and typically we would have about 6 to 8 volunteers serving at that site. People would be outside socializing with our community members, but we couldn't do that. We had to stop that piece of our operation. So come with me and take a look at what we were doing. We're here tonight at the P.T. Barnum housing community distributing prepared meals from our mobile kitchens. We have 2 mobile kitchens out in the community this evening. Another is in South Norwalk, distributing meals to families in impoverished neighborhoods there. We're following health department recommendations and keeping in mind that we need to keep 6 feet apart from our guests, and that is the reason that we are handing the meals out the window, placing them on the platform outside of the mobile kitchen, and allowing guests to come one at a time to retrieve those meals from our window. Now more than ever, it's important that we can continue to provide these much needed meals to families in need in communities like this.
So that was 2 weeks ago.
Just about.
Pretty much holding true to the craziness that's been going on. We've changed since then. What's been going on the past 2 weeks?
So at the same time that we were suspending mobile kitchen services, we became aware of another need, that there are shut-ins and seniors who can't come to our pantry and pick up groceries. So we pivoted again and reached out to some volunteers who are now helping us pack more bags of non-perishable and more bags of fresh produce so that we can put these items together and deliver them to housing communities where there are shut-ins.
Yeah, and last week was the 2nd week of our pantry bag packing operation. And
it's amazing.
It's amazing, that back parking lot and all the tables and all the tents, and only using, of course, 8 volunteers a day and being so careful with the protocols for them to have gloves and masks. But their help, their extra hands have made it just possible for, I think it was last Thursday, 200 families were served through these bags that were packed and loaded in trucks and delivered around the community.
And in total, in just 2 weeks, Christy Pope, our Director of Compassion Ministries, has informed us that it's about 16,000 pounds of food in total that have been delivered in this short period of time.
And I figured out that's 13,400 meals, and that's just in the first 10 days of the grocery delivery. And we'll continue, of course, to do that until everybody is safely able to go back into the stores. You can tell that during this past 4 or 5 weeks, the services that Bridgeport Rescue Mission has been providing, especially the food, has been critically important for so many, many families. And we really couldn't have done it or done the pivot without an incredible team at Bridgeport Rescue Mission. We love you all, but also without the financial support of some special people. The PepsiCo Foundation stepped up in an emergency response way and really helped make this happen. And 3 special partners made large financial gifts. And those lead gifts of $150,000 tonight are actually underwriting this Hearts of Hope event and are sort of issuing a challenge to the community to double the impact and help us double the impact. And we're so grateful to those anonymous gifts, and just hope that tonight you'll consider making a gift to match that $150,000. And how, Donna, can people make that gift?
So we've made it easy for you to do so. Just click the Give Now button on your screen, or if you're text savvy, text the word HOPE AGAIN, one word, no space, HOPE AGAIN to 41444. No gift is too small. You can see we've already begun to receive some gifts. There are gifts of $50, gifts of $25. There's a gift of $2,500 that has come through. Every gift matters, no matter how large or how small. We appreciate them all.
And so we shared with you that Hearts of Hope is typically focused on our women. And we wanted to spend a few more minutes now tonight with you and take you over to our Women's Addiction Recovery Program, our New Life program, to a facility we call our Women's Center. So let's go on over there and meet some of the women. We're standing in front of our Women's Center. It's in the east side of Bridgeport. It's a big old 16-bed Victorian house. We'd love to bring you inside and just show you the home that the women have here. We wanted to let you know that we put a lot of thought into filming today. We are wearing gloves and masks when we're not on camera, and we sanitized everything. We'll also notice that we're keeping a substantial social distance from the women in the program. They've been in isolation for 3 weeks, so they've already been together, but Donna and I will take great pains to keep our distance. So come on in, let's go meet them. So this is inside of our Women's Center. We just walked in the back door and I wanted you to kind of see the first floor. This is the women's computer lab. They go in there, you know, for all kinds of life skills, job skills work, and of course, resume building and applying for jobs. Come on down the hall and I'll show you, because it's such a beautiful old Victorian house. And you come into this family room, and then right next to the family room there's a big open dining room. Of course they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, but our ladies often, hi, Sarah and Jenny, going through some of their Genesis work. This is our Genesis counseling room. Miss Paula is our counselor, and she's an amazing human being, and this is her space. There's just some really incredible counseling and an unpacking of struggles and the journey through addiction that happens in this room. You can see the beautiful old staircase goes upstairs. We're not going to visit the bedrooms today. This is our group room. And you can see it's a little messy, but this is where they come in and do everything from an AA meeting, maybe a life skills or a job skills class with a counselor. And we're going to loop back around and sit down and just introduce you to some of the women who are living here right now, who are just interested in sharing their stories. They have beautiful stories, so come on, let's go sit down and meet them. So we're going to sit down with them in just a minute, but it was so interesting, Donna, when we were over there, because as you and I have gotten to know the ladies over the years, oftentimes we see these incredibly sad, traumatic stories that trigger addiction.
But not always.
But not always.
Sometimes the background is pretty, quote, typical, and there's not trauma. But as we'll hear from Sarah, who shares that something just wasn't right, it's not necessarily a trauma that drove or drives people to do drugs or to drink. Sometimes it is something as simple as getting involved with the wrong crowd and partying too much, and they go down the wrong path.
And I think that's what's scary to me about addiction,
As
being
a parent,
mother.
it's very scary.
And knowing that really it doesn't discriminate against anyone. But let's sit down with them. Let's hear some of their stories. Yeah.
My use started when I was 28. I was involved in a serious relationship with my boyfriend, and I found out that he cheated on me with my best friend, and it devastated me. The pain was so great, I needed to escape. And one day I got off from work and I was in my car and I was just crying and crying and crying. His brother came out to the car and introduced me to crack cocaine. He was like, "Pan, this is numb you, this will make you feel better." It did for that moment. I didn't feel the pain anymore. And it just led to a life of hurts and pains and letdowns and disappointments, and it became everything to me. What didn't matter what I did, how much of it I did, I had to have it.
I was molested from the ages of 9 to 10 from my stepfather. It definitely put me in a deep pit. And then that same man got my mother hooked on drugs. It went from a parent being there to a parent not being there at all. So I started drinking alcohol at the age of 12, smoking marijuana at 14, and then sociably doing cocaine. And one day someone had offered me crack cocaine, and I thought it was just gonna be something to, have fun with. And it put my life into an addiction as well.
Well, I grew up in a middle-class Catholic family. My dad was Irish, my mom was Puerto Rican. We were taught emotion was a sign of weakness. So what we didn't see or didn't speak won't hurt us. And from as far back as I can remember, I felt a lot of pain and I was very lonely. I started smoking marijuana at 13 and drinking, and the first time I remember I tried it, something I said I would never do, I was hooked. It numbed me. Again, it took me out of myself. I didn't have to think about anything, worry about anything.
Far too many people in our community have a loved one, a family member, a friend who is struggling with an addiction, and it really doesn't discriminate, but there's sort of the same result across the board that you see.
Right, the stories and what drove them to addiction may be different, but the devastating results are the same.
And one of the things that we found when we sat down with the ladies is that kind of overarching theme of that my addiction took everything.
Yeah. And it took them.
It took them.
It leaves them empty.
So let's go back to the Women's Center and just hear a little more about how their addiction really took over their life.
It was to the point to where I neglected being a mother. I neglected being a girlfriend, a friend, a sister, a daughter. I neglected everything in my life. When I realized that I was in trouble, when I started losing the battle of drugs, I no longer wanted to go to work anymore. I no longer wanted to socialize anymore. I no longer wanted to do anything but just sit in a dark corner and just get high. I didn't even feel alive anymore. I was just walking around on the earth, but didn't have no soul, didn't have no heart, didn't have no emotions, didn't have nothing. It cost me everything.
I started losing apartments, jobs. I would, good jobs, no call, no shows. I've lost material possessions, everything in apartments probably 3 times over. But more importantly, I lost myself, and I hurt my daughter the same way my mother hurt me. And, I hadn't said this earlier, but my mother died because of addiction. I remember my daughter even saying to me, like, are you gonna die like grandma? Am I gonna lose you? Even this last time, I can't lose you, Mom, she would say, So I've lost so many material possessions, but the most important thing was losing myself in the process, the things that I would do that I said I would never do for the drugs. Selling my body. Things that I said I would never do for those drugs, I did. And you look in the mirror and you don't even know who you are anymore.
I've lost custody of my second born. I lost my family, material possessions, which is nothing, but, I lost myself, my dignity. I was hopeless. I think that was the bottom for me. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. What finally, sealed the deal for me is one of my friends took his life, and I had sought God. I lost God, after my firstborn, and I was seeking Him in this time, and But now I knew I needed him. I knew I needed him, and you know, I had hit such a bottom that I knew my only way was up.
The women that you're meeting tonight were introduced to Bridgeport Rescue Mission at exactly the right time. That's not always the case, but sometimes it takes a while.
Right, sometimes they're not ready, and they're referred to us by the court systems who have a great respect for the work that we do. Sometimes it's word of mouth, a family member, and sometimes they're ready for change and they find us on their own.
But each woman, ultimately tonight that you're meeting, they made the decision to join Bridgeport Rescue Mission's program and make a commitment to sobriety. So let's learn a little bit more about how they made that decision to come in our doors.
I had relapsed for a few weeks, and at some point in my mess, I had called here and did a phone screen. I still to this day don't remember doing that. They had all my information. I had told them everything that had happened and where I was staying. And I came here and it was hard, and it was really, really hard. I was still obsessed with using, and I tried to leave every other day. I had Paula and Shai praying over me, laying hands over me. I also on my own prayed for, this obsession to be taken away from me. That's all I wanted in the beginning of this. I just wanted to stop using drugs, and I didn't realize how much bigger my life would get when I made that decision to turn my will over.
I graduated the program and I started working, and life was pretty stable and balanced. Somewhere in that mix, I lost my balance. I lost my job, so unfortunately I relapsed. I was in a car accident due to it, and I fractured my skull, I broke my ribs, and broke a disc in my spine. And the doctor said that the way my back broke was against any logical physics of a car accident. And I was a fraction away from paralysis. And that's when I knew that God's hand never left me, even though I turned away from Him. Excuse me. When I was at the hospital trying to figure out my next step, I really was at a loss as to what to do. And some volunteers from the mission, who I became friends with, came to visit me and thought it would be a good idea for me to come back here. I was very hesitant at first. I was very disappointed in myself, but I knew it was the right thing to do because I knew this was the place I needed to help me find my balance in life again.
The minute I walked in these doors, I felt the peace of God. And that right there, I knew I was okay. I knew I was in the right place. I knew He placed me here. Bridgeport Rescue Mission changes lives. It's changed my life, And I'm so grateful for this ministry.
There's a few things that make our program different. And the one thing that I always tell people is that we run a long-term residential recovery program. We really haven't found that the 30-day or the 6-week solutions get people across the finish line.
And it's different for everyone. For some, it's a 4-month program, and some women and men stay with us longer. They stay as long as 12 months or more. It really depends on how quickly they can move through the program. And the other difference is that Bridgeport Rescue Mission is a faith-based operation, and that's that slogan that Donna and I were referencing before, fighting poverty from the inside out. We love that phrase, from the inside out, because when it comes to addiction, we see that people are empowered to conquer their addiction when they have their own kind of spiritual transformation from the inside out. And they develop those skills through the curriculum that we bring them during our AA meetings, during something called the Genesis process, where they meet one-on-one with a counselor, and several group studies on anger management and forgiveness. And I always am interested to hear which parts of the curriculum resonate most with the students. So let's hear from some of the ladies how the program touched their lives.
the classes we have here, you know, the Genesis process, that was big for me because this is the first program. I've been to many programs. This was the first program that I had Genesis, and that's where you really learn about yourself. You really get to work on yourself and go to the core, get to the core of, you know, where it all started.
In Genesis, you know, we reverse those lies that we've told ourselves. We address the horrible things that have happened to us, the horrible things that we've done, and it comes off of us. Like, our disease dies when we bring it to the light.
I might have touched the surface, but I never wanted to dig deep. And that is what we do in the Genesis process. We dig deep into the deep-rooted things that cause us to want to numb our pain. All the groups here, all the classes that we take, on top of the volunteers that and the staff here that I'm so beyond grateful for, is the forgiveness class. I was able to forgive people, but more importantly, I was able to forgive myself. and I think that is key.
Forgiveness was extremely powerful for me because when I came here, I had such heavy guilt and shame and regret and the hurt that I've caused my family and my son. And when I came here and learned, how is my son going to forgive me? How are my parents going to forgive me if I can't forgive myself? So that was extremely powerful for me.
Forgiveness is a very strong emotion. I'm not doing the will of God when I don't forgive myself. And I learned that by coming to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. But this is the one that teaches you about life, love, forgiveness, addiction, and God.
We are so proud of the life change programs that Bridgeport Rescue Mission offers, but we're really grateful.
We're proud, love
the team of
Paula,
people behind that.
Tanya, Shai, Marianne
Gardner, who is the director of life change programs. These programs would not be as effective as they are without their love and passion to help people.
This group of women, they're the front lines, boots on the ground, fighters against this national epidemic.
They are, and they
addiction.
Truly love the ladies in the program. They put their heart and their soul into the work that they do. And ladies, we just want to give you a shout out and say thank you for all that you do.
We mentioned how, you know, our recovery program is different. It's a long-term program. We incorporate some faith-based principles, but there's another key component that makes Bridgeport Rescue Mission different, and that's that we're free. It is a long-term residential recovery program that meets all the needs of these struggling women, but we do it at no cost to them.
And speaking of that, speaking of no cost to the people that we're helping, we need your help. And we're so grateful that you joined us tonight.
It's like a radio-a-thon.
And please remember, at any point during this broadcast, you can hit the Give Now button and make your gift. No gift is too small or too large. Or you can text HOPE AGAIN to 41444. We appreciate all gifts of any amount.
And we wanted you to hear directly from the ladies why access to a free program is so critically important to their recovery.
God said, come as you are. He didn't say bring all your money, bring all your jewelry, bring all your clothes. He said come as you are. And he doesn't charge you nothing to receive his love. He doesn't charge you anything. God is a giving God. He's a God of love. He's a God of patience, and he's a God of understanding. He knows where we come from. If we would have had to pay for this program, we would have never been able to receive the help that we did. We would never be able to become effective members of society. We would have never been able to do none of that because we don't have any money. We don't have any ends. We don't have any means.
Well, first and foremost, most of us come in here with nothing. We have lost everything. On top of the fact that we've exhausted all avenues, we burnt all bridges. So no one wants to help us. They sort of want to see They want to see consistency. Most of us, it's not our first program. The fact that we don't have to pay anything to come in here is such a blessing. Because what we gain in Bridgeport Rescue Mission, I wouldn't even have been able to get from a program that I had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars at. What I got here is I got a changed life. You can't put money on that.
One of the biggest privileges of my career has been my time at Bridgeport Rescue Mission, and it's people like Pam and Christina and Ebony and Linda and Jenny and Sarah. Each one of you, your stories warms my heart, and actually it just really inspires me. Thank each of you. I know you're watching tonight. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us and tell your stories, but thank you for having the courage to journey on recovery, and just wish you all the best, and just cannot wait to see what each of you do with your future. We couldn't have pulled this event off, and I feel like we made it. It's not quite over, but we're almost there. We couldn't have pulled this event off without some very special people. 3 anonymous donors, you know who you are out there, that put that $150,000 lead gift out there to help us just make sure that we could make the night successful.
Thank you. We're
Pepsi,
grateful.
we love you. PepsiCo Foundation, thank you for your support during COVID. And well, we got some special partners at Connoisseur Media, Marnie, Jeff Warshaw, and the entire team
Tony
over there.
and Melissa, who give us shout outs all the time.
Thank you, Melissa. You all have been incredible partners, and quite frankly, I'm not sure that this night would have been as successful as, well, we're assuming it's going to be. Without your willingness to just throw it all at the mat and come and join us with this virtual experience. So.
And you've had a chance to hear from some of the women who are currently in our program, but we also wanted to give you an opportunity, as you're contemplating your gift tonight, to hear from some women who graduated our program a few years back. And one in particular graduated in 1999, and she is still doing well. And just has a wonderful life now, thanks to the gifts of many of you who are watching tonight. So we hope you enjoy that video as you are contemplating your gift. Don't forget, you can click the Give Now button, or text your gift. Text HOPE again to 41444 to make a gift.
And before we cut to the video, you might be wondering, where in the world are we? Actually, Donna and I are sitting in our new Bridgeport Rescue Mission's Community Care Center. It's located
so
at
exciting.
725 Park Avenue, and it's completely empty. We've renovated the first floor, and we're sitting in the future site of our permanent pantry. Those videos you saw about 30 minutes ago, our crazy outdoor pantry operation. Hopefully by the end of summer 2020, our new permanent pantry, it's an 1,800 square foot space we're sitting in, will be open every day to provide groceries to people from all over the region. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about our community care center, at the end of all of these videos, I'm going to take you on a quick behind the scenes tour, because over the next 2 years, that we are going to bring online 150 more residential recovery beds right here at 725 Park Avenue. So come take a peek at the end, and thank you again for your patience as Donna and I became sort of like the next Kelly Ripa and Ellen DeGeneres, I guess.
New careers on the horizon.
Yeah. Maybe not. We'll see you at Hearts of Hope next year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Well, before the Bridgeport Rescue Mission, I was born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut. And at the age of 7, I was sold into sex trafficking by my mom, who was also a heroin addict, and introduced me to heroin.
I was born in New Haven, Connecticut. My mom was physically, mentally, emotionally abusive. My dad, who was an alcoholic. Soon after high school, I became addicted to free-base cocaine, marijuana, and drinking every now and again.
When I arrived at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission, my whole entire life was in a brown paper bag. My self-esteem was so low, it wasn't even just under the rug, it was underneath the floorboards. I needed to suck up every single piece of knowledge that I possibly could get to put my life back in order.
Before the Bridgeport Rescue Mission, I was a functioning alcoholic. I lost my job, I lost my house, my family, my children, all turned their backs on me. It was not a happy place.
God had different plans for me, and He brought me into the Women's Center here. As of Thanksgiving 2017, I celebrated 3 years clean and sober. I look forward to moving on into my own apartment next month in Stamford. I give everything I have to the mission. The mission is my family that I never had. They introduced me to Jesus Christ. And my life has just begun thanks to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission.
Bridgeport Rescue Mission helped me by, one, giving me a safe place, two, allowing me a relationship with God as I understand Him. And that has brought me through where I am today.
They met us where we were, just like God meets us where we are. So now I just have the most amazing life. I did get married, and I'm actually able to come back once a month and give back to the ladies. I bring them a dinner and we fellowship, I share my testimony, and hopefully I encourage them with that.
I am the first African-American female licensed optician in Fairfield County. Today, I love me. I love the Lord, and I give back. I actually teach a Bible study course, the Basic Beginners Bible Study course, on Tuesday evenings at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission, where I'm just so grateful for all the things that God has done for me and given me the ability to share it with somebody else. Today, life is great. Life has never been better, but I owe it to God and the Bridgeport Rescue Mission.
And it's because of you my life has just begun. It's because of you I have a chance at a clean and sober life, a life free from drugs and happiness. Thank you.
Because of people like you, helping women like me with a place of healing, freedom from self and addiction, and a place to rest, free of charge. Your donations help women like us. Thanks.
Through generous donations, make it possible for us women to have a safe place to go, to focus on our recovery and God. So we just thank you so much.
Without each and every last one of you, my life could never be the way it is today. I personally thank you for giving into the Bridgeport Rescue Mission, because without it, I would have no life. I could be dead somewhere, but because of all that you have done, today I can smile and say thank you for saving my life.
All right, so I mentioned that I would take you on a quick tour of our new facility. It's located at 725 Park Avenue. Today we actually filmed Hearts of Hope in the Mary Ann Mann's Community Pantry. That's right, it's going to be an 1,800 square foot pantry space with fresh produce and groceries. This is something that's pretty special. This is our new day services center and a Barbara Dell counseling center over in the corner. It's a suite of offices, and all kinds of community services are going to happen here for struggling families and people who are navigating poverty. And we're hoping, fingers crossed, once we get on the other side of COVID, that we'll be able to form some partnerships with dental providers and medical providers, people who cut hair. But all of this will be a welcome center for the community to come in. As you can tell, we've made some progress on the renovations, but we're closing in on the end, but it's obviously not furnished yet. Come on down the hall. We're going to visit our new community dining room. So now I took you down to the other side of the first floor, and this is the Vivian Massoud family dining room. Hi, Joe and family. Thank you so much for your partnership, and your dining room is looking fantabulous. Come on this way. The new dining room, our current dining room, is open 24/7. We serve meals, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, but our dining room seats about 25 people. This dining room is actually going to seat 125 people. So we will hopefully by the end of the summer be serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the community. We never turn anyone away. If someone who's hungry shows up, we welcome them in. And one of the things that's exciting about the location of this building is we are within walking distance of 5 public schools in Bridgeport. One of them, Roosevelt Elementary School, is actually right across the street. And that's exciting to me because I'm hoping that we'll be able to have a really nice partnership and make sure that there's just simply no more hungry kids. And the last place I'm taking you is our new commercial kitchen. It's empty because we're still renovating and purchasing equipment, but as you can tell, it's an extraordinary space. And if you've ever been to Bridgeport Rescue Mission and you've seen our 150 square foot commercial kitchen, you can just tell the vision of what this is going to be is awesome. If you want to know more about the 150 residential beds that are going to be in the floors above me, or you want to know how you can become a financial partner, wink, wink, in the Community Care Center, we are in the midst of a capital campaign, and we won't be able to renovate until we raise the money, but we're so hoping that the community is going to continue to rally behind the vision for expanded services for the community. And thank you so much again for joining us tonight. Be blessed and stay safe.